and it's not.
Something had to do with Title VIII. People who are coming in can get Title VIII because
Section 8.
Section 8. And people that can't make the grade as far as income is concerned end up...
No, that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening.
Okay.
There's only so much that's allotted to Title VIII programs.
Why don't you explain what Section 8 is?
Section 8 programming it's a federal program where they subsidize your housing. They subsidize your repair, they subsidize your housing. Okay, that's what Section 8 is. There's only so much Section 8 that's given out at any specific time. Okay? When people were living in public housing, they were living in public housing and they didn't need Section 8 because the federal government was handling the housing. When they destroyed when they got rid of public housing, started tearing down public housing, these people had to go on Section 8. So they had to go into subsidized housing. Because there were so many of these public housing, then they had to disperse all these people. So they became primary, first come on Section 8. So until those people are dispersed, because they're still tearing down public housing. There was so much of it, so many thousands, hundreds of thousands of families on it that they had to take off of it and have to transition, or so-called transition them through Section 8. Okay? That nobody else can get on Section 8. It doesn't mean that you meet the criteria. That's not the problem. The problem is there are no vouchers for you. So if you are not within that thing of coming out of public housing, out of these major cities, it's going to be very hard for you right now to get on Section 8 until everybody has been transactioned out of that housing that's still being torn down. Nobody thought it through very well, when they started doing it. And then they had to disperse them because there wasn't enough housing in Chicago and St. Louis and some of these other areas for these people to have housing. So you disperse them, you give them a voucher of $10,000 to $15,000 to move somewhere else. Danville, Champaign, Decatur, Springfield, all over. So that's one of the things that's happening. And so those places, Danville, Champaign, Springfield, Decatur, and everybody else, the people who qualify for Section 8 in those towns that are originally from those towns can't get it. So that's what's happening.
So what's happening in southeast Urbana? Not up here, but there seems to be an enclave of fairly rough, tough.
That's where they dropped them.
Okay.
They intentionally dropped them over there. That whole area was integrated until they started bringing them in here. And it was integrated public housing, integrated low-income housing. And that's where they drop them. They drop them there, and they're dropping them up here around Garden
Hill.
Right. So that's what's happening. Are there any other questions as far as the mural is concerned?
I had a funny one. I just interviewed an 85-year-old who used to live in Homer and his parents used to play cards with, I fancy they might be your relatives.
Probably. Huh? Yeah, they would, he was 87, yeah.
Huh?
He played cards with probably some of my relatives.
And then they moved out.
Yeah, we moved out.
Well, I want to thank Sam for letting us come into